Good afternoon, happy stampers. This is Judy Anderson, and I'd like to welcome you to my happy stamping studio, where every stamp tells a story and every project brings joy. Today we are going to I was inspired by being out in my garden these last couple of weeks, and so I wanted to make a bright card with lots of flowers on it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to be using some product that I have used previously and some that I have not. So I'd like to welcome all of you, whether you're watching on live or on a replay. Hello, hello, hello. Please say hello. Let me know you're here. So the two stamp sets we're going to be using is, we're using one stamp set, and then we're going to be using a embossing folder, and we are going to be using some dies, and our flowers are going to be made up of mostly dies. So as you can see, the stripes and dots stamp set, and we're going to use the Impressions of Bloom dies this week. We've been using the stamp set quite a bit because I've had lots of requests for that stamp set, and we haven't quite gotten into the dies. So we're going to do the dies today. We're going to use the stripes and dots for an interesting background. Besides that, we are going to be using the Misty Moonlight ink and the light Stampin' Blend. We're going to be using our blending brush. And then perhaps, and I'm not real sure yet, but I was planning on using this white frayed ribbon again and white twine. I don't know how that's going to fit quite on my card today, but I thought, you know what, I want to add a little bit of something with the ribbon. Now, you're going to be learning a trick that I've been using with the dies. Besides that, we are going to be using the plaid embossing folder, and this is a 3D embossing folder. Add a little bit of texture. Our card is mainly made up of, let me move all this out of the way. Our card is going to be mainly made up of 3 pieces of cardstock. We've got our card base that's in cloud cover, and we've got this strip that's in cloud cover, and this basic white. Now, besides that, I do have a bunch of scrap paper that we're going to make our flowers out of. So any colors will go. The cloud cover is a good neutral color. It's a new ink color, and you might be wondering why I am not using cloud cover ink. Well, there was a problem with the ink, and it didn't meet Stampin' Up! Standards, and it was reacting with the foam pad. So they have pulled that product, but you can get a Stampin' Spot. You can either get the uninked spots and ink it up with the re-inker, or it actually comes in one of the ink spots combination packs. Sorry. So, okay, I don't have any gum. So if my voice starts going hoarse, we're going to have to put up with it today. So we're going to start out with cutting our die cuts, because I wanted to show you this trick. Now, a friend of mine gave me this tape, and I can't remember what it was. It is for masking, and it's a low tack tape, and excuse me, and it doesn't really tear your paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these leaves, because this is an outside of the leaf, and then this die actually makes a pattern, some detail to that leaf, and it doesn't have to be in there straight, because it doesn't matter. Believe me, I've cut out enough of them, I know. So the only reason I'm showing you this trick with this is if you're doing multiples, you may want to use this trick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tape, and I couldn't find my paper snips right off the hands. Oh, I just found them. I looked over the end of my glass plate here. So I'm going to take that, and I'm just going to put it on top. And I don't worry about how those dies go together. You'll see what I mean in a second. So I'm going to take another piece, working in the garden, you guys, my nails have been taken up bunting. I've got one long nail left. The rest of them are all short. And no matter how I scrub them, they won't get clean. That's how much I've been in the garden. So we're going to take over our cut and emboss machine. And we are going to be using platform 1, platform 2, and then 2 of the acrylic plate. And I'm going to do a couple of these at a time. So I'm going to do, this is Old Olive, and I'm actually going to do the leaves out of Old Olive. And just put that on there. I don't worry about how they sit on there. This is, like I said, I'm using scrap paper. And I have gone ahead and cut out, 8 or 10 of these, so we don't have to do a lot of them. And then we are going to use the strawberry slush. And this here is another flower, and the die has some detail to it, a second one. So you can cut out the image, the flower image with the outline, and then, or you can use this and or. And what I've done is I have marked right here with a black line how these line up. Now, I did it on the wrong side, but I can pretty much tell. And if it really bothered me, I could mark the other side. So see how those fit in just like that. I'm going to put that on here and this one on here. Let's see if we can pick up another piece here. Oh, I'm going to put the green, the Old Olive up above here. We'll get them on. We'll get them to fit on. It's just, I want to show you guys on camera. And sometimes that makes it a little bit difficult. Once again, you don't have to worry about how those line up. These are just some flowers. And we're going to do 3. So there's 2 here, 1 here, and then the large flower. We're going to go ahead and put our top acrylic plate on and roll that through. Okay. What have you guys been doing? We went from fall to winter, to summer, like overnight. We weren't getting very much warm weather, spring-like weather. It was cooler. And then all of a sudden this week, it was a blast of hot air. And so can you see those details in that flower? Look at that. That's what that second die does. So I'll show you all of them. We're going to, so this one die cuts out 2 of the smaller flowers. And once again, when you cut those out, those automatically have the detail on them. There's no outline stamp. These are accent flowers. So once again, I am going to go ahead and cut 2 more of the small flowers. Take these dies away. And our leaves, that's what they look like. Okay. And just going to remove these. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do that. And then I have some Darling Duckling. Here, we're going to go ahead and push that through this way. We don't have to cut a whole lot. I should have cut a couple of these out too, but I haven't. And once again, we've got that flower center, and then we've got some detail there. I just love these colors together. 3 of the colors, the Timid Tiger, the Darling Duckling, and the Cloud Cover, and the Strawberry Slush. So 4 of the colors are new in colors. The only one that isn't is the Old Olive. The Old Olive is been around since I started 25 years ago. I just celebrated 25 years last week on the 19th. So I have been doing this, having fun, and sharing with others for 25 years. It's hard to believe because it's been so much fun. I just can't believe it. Okay, let's get those up. There we go. And then here is the detail of that yellow flower. Okay, so we've got all our dies cut. So we're going to change our platform, and we are going to set it up for the 3D embossing folder. I'm going to grab my folder and my paper. So we're going to use this smaller piece of cloud cover, and we're going to line this up. Now, I'm going to show you, I line it up to that line that's on the bottom. Some people say, I can never get it straight. Well, if you line it up there, close it, squeeze it up at the top. Here, let me move my machine and not dump everything over. So let's go over that again. So we've got the 3D embossing folder. We have this line here. I take my paper, I line it up to that line. Okay, just like that. I hold it, I close it, and I squeeze it. Now that paper is not going to go anywhere, and it's straight. Take our machine back in. We're going to put it on our platform. We're going to take our number 4 plate, stick that in. It's a gray number 4 plate, and it's going to run through like butter. Now, you always want to go one way with your embossing folder. You never want to come back through again. When you do that, you pretty much destroy your crease there. So there we go. You can use either side. I haven't decided which side I'm going to use, but the side that has the Stampin' Up! Logo, that's usually the top. So if you want to know, so this would be considered the top and that the back, but you can use it either way. Okay, so we've got that going. Now what I'm going to do with this piece is that I'm going to use the right side up. I am going to just tear this. Okay, I'm going to tear it right down to this other corner. Now, did you know that when you tear towards you, the rough edge is up, and when you tear away from you, the rough edge will be down? But we have this piece and we have a second piece. So you can make a second card, but doing it the opposite direction, or you could do this up like that. Or you could turn it over and not have the rough edge. Okay, you could also layer this, have the rough edge on the back, or even though this is shorter, you could bring it out this way. Totally up to you. There's so many different variations you can do. Okay, we're going to grab our basic white, and we are going to grab our stamp. And like I said, I'm going to use the polka dots. I think polka dots are so much fun. So let me get my stamp block. Okay, and this is where we are going to use our blending brush. I'm going to grab scrap paper. Somebody asked me the other day, why do you get your scrap paper so dirty? I see so many demonstrators demonstrating, and their paper's always clean. Well, I'm going to tell you, when you stamp at home, your paper's not always clean, so I'm not going to pretend that it is. So I use it even after it's dirty. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our Misty Moonlight. We're going to take a brush one direction, the other direction, the same here. Okay, so I didn't want this really dark, so and I don't want them all covered. So I'm just kind of pouncing on there. And I'm going to put these across. Okay, and see how those are nice and light? Not real solid. I'm not going to ink up again. I'm going to do the same thing. Just kind of pounce it. And I'm not caring if it goes all the way across or not, if they line up, if they go over each other. Like that. See, they're going over each other. It's okay. And I'm not inking all of those up. Okay, I do want this to go up the paper up here a little bit, and I kind of got between lines. So just dab again. And we are just going to put this right there and cover that up. So that's a nice light background for us. I'm going to close this up for right now. And I'm going to bring in my card base. So we're going to fold with the mountain in the middle, grab our bone folder for that. That's pretty much, we got one more thing to color that we'll use that for. Okay, I'm going to place this onto that front of my card. And you're going to notice that it doesn't go all the way across. That's okay. It's not supposed to. You remember we tore that one piece, and it's going to go kitty corner on top of this. Let's put this on here. Now line this up to the outside. So we have an even border along those three edges. Okay, next we are going to take our piece of cloud cover. We're going to grab our ribbon, and it's time to color our twine. I want to color the twine with the light blend. Okay, so we're just going to take this, and I'm going to grab about 10 inches. And we're going to snip that off. I think that will be enough. And we are going to color this. And you're going to notice that twine kind of moves around. That's okay. And I may not be getting it totally colored. That's okay. If you want it totally covered, you can keep coloring it. But I'm okay with it that way. That's the kind of look I want for this card. So we are going to take our white, and I'm going to take about another 10 inches. Flip it off. You take that, I'm going to wrap it around here. And I know this is too long. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a glue dot, and I'm going to put a glue dot on each side of that to hold that ribbon, right where I want that ribbon held. I'm going to do it there. Move this down. Yeah, it's been hot and miserable. We've been in the 90s, well, mid 90s for 3 or 4 days now. The dogs don't even want to go outside anymore. Kind of funny. They'll come out, but then they want to come back in. Okay. Go there. Now we're going to wrap this around. And I'm going to flip it around. Oh, my fingers aren't working today. And tie a knot. Yes, I'm going to tie a knot. The reason why I'm tying a knot is because that bottom piece, that bottom ribbon is attached with the glue dots. But if this top one comes undone, then your whole thing will come undone. So we're just going to tie that tight, just like that. Okay. Now, like I said, I'm going to tie a knot. I'm not usually this fumbly. There we go. Wrap that around, and we're going to tie a bow. Okay, now when you tie the bow, you could tie, because it's plenty long enough, you could tie a knot in the bow. And I probably would if I did it a little bit straighter, or more, not straighter, but more even. But I'm going to pull those so that they're pretty long. I want those ears to be long. Or those loops, however you say it. Okay, we'll cut the ribbon once we get it attached. So we're going to go ahead and attach this piece to our card front. Plenty of glue, because remember with the embossed paper, it goes up and down. So it's got that texture on it. So we're going to line this up. And I'm just going to make sure that I cover up that tip where it didn't quite go over. And like you see, you don't have to go all the way over. Okay, now you might be thinking, Judy, that card doesn't look like it's a normal size. Well, it's not, because I just noticed that when I scored it wrong. So we're going to take our paper trimmer and we're going to trim it. Just like that. Okay, I didn't quite go all the way through. I lifted it up. Let's go here. And that is actually 4 1/4. So my piece must have been a little bit larger. So I've got the border up here. I don't have one here, and I've got border down here a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to add our flowers. And this is where it's playtime. So we've got this flower. We have these leaves. This is the center to this flower, and I am going to go ahead and glue it on so I don't lose it. There we go. Don't put too much glue because those are holes and it does come through. Just a word of warning. And we're going to place these on here however we want. With the leaves tucked in between, we're just going to make our own little fun bouquet with all our dies. Okay, so I am going to use our dimensionals. So I'm going to put this one on first. And I'm just using the minis because, like I said, I'm going to be tucking flowers and leaves. Okay, so let's do a leaf. Get it this way. So you definitely can tell the front and back of these. Just put a little glue dot and just play with them. Now, you could place these on first and then start gluing, but I don't have too much patience for that. Okay, I want these smaller ones coming out here. And I actually want it to have a leaf. So we're going to attach it to the leaf. And then we will attach it to the card front. Okay, oops. Okay, I got glue on my fingers, so I am going to get the sanitizer in just a second. I'm going to put that right there. Now hold it a second. Yes, the trick to getting this glue off your fingers is hand sanitizer, guys. Takes it right off. Okay, so let's go ahead and do another one of those. And we're doing this without any rhyme or reason, just putting them together. And some glue on the back. And let's tuck this one. I'm going to tuck it down here. Okay. Do another one. Maybe we'll do this one. Actually do that one here. And it looks like those leaves are for that. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to tuck this one here. Just going to do one at the top. This time I'm tucking the leaf on top of that flower. Okay, so I'm going to go under and between those two flowers, just like that. So that's going to make that blossom, that flower blossom, look like it's poking out behind. Okay, so we've got 4 flowers. So we can do, I would suggest odd numbers 5. And I can stick this one here. But this one I am going to do on a dimensional. So I want to make sure I get it so you don't see it from the front. So we're going to put it up a little bit higher. And we'll take a couple of leaves this time. Now, this leaf should stick there. And it only has to stick there for a moment because I'm putting another dimensional down here. Okay, so this is going to pop up a little bit higher than just one dimensional, but it's going to add that little bit of dimension to our card. Tuck it down there, and it's going to lift that card up, or that flower up. Let's do it like this, right like there. Okay, so that's good and stuck on there. So I'm going to go ahead and take my paper snips and let's snip this ribbon each direction here. But we need a sentiment. So this is where I am going to go into the Impressions of Bloom. And I did have the sentiment out here. Here it is. We've got the thanks. I send lots of thank you cards. In fact, I sent a card to a customer the other day. She wanted a catalog. She goes, wow. She goes, are you still giving catalogs out? And I says, oh, yes. She's a good customer. She's local. And she didn't have time to pick it up. And I said, I'll tell you what. I says, I'll drop it off for you. She goes, okay, great. So I put a card in there that I actually made on, I don't know if I made it on here or if it was in my newsletter. And she goes, oh my gosh, I just love that card. What colors, what stamp sets, et cetera, et cetera. And so I told her, and she ended up getting the stamp set in the colors, and they were the new in colors, actually, Timid Tiger and strawberry slush, and maybe it was a peach pie. So I was pleased that she liked it, like the card I gave her. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to slice this, and we're going to slice this on the diagonal. And I'm going to trim it down so it's a little bit narrower. There, line up on that line. Go right here. I'm going to tuck that thanks right here. And I'm going to put that up on dimensionals too. I'm going to grab this strip. Had this strip a little bit on this one, from this one pack of dimensionals for a while. It's like, oh, I have to remember to use those. Do you always remember to use those? So I've been working in my garden, like I said, and our neighbor's getting a new fence. So I had to end up removing some flowers the other day so that they could not trample my flowers. Okay, so this is the card. Isn't that cute? Now we can jazz it up a little bit. We can, oh, now that I said that, yep. We can take our Wink of Stella and we can add some Wink of Stella, which is going to give it just a touch of glimmer just on some of those flowers. And I'm just dabbing it on. Okay, so for the inside of our card, we can take a piece of basic white, and it doesn't have to be all the way up. I am going to make it a little bit narrower. So let's do 3 3/4. Okay, we're going to go ahead and glue that in. And I've got extra flowers, or extra leaves and a flower. We're going to go ahead and add that in right here, just centering it in the inside. You don't have to have an even border around, you guys. And we're going to add this just like we did the other leaves. So I'm going to take this and just add some glue there. Hold it there for a second. Take some more glue. Dab it on. Now you could do this onto your paper first. I'm just going to put that one here. And now I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to add some adhesive just down there. I don't want to do it all the way to the ends because of the slats. We're just going to add that right down there. Okay, so I'm going to move this stuff out. And this is our card for day. I hope you liked it. It's a little bit of fun, a little bit of whimsy. If you use brighter colors than what I used, I wanted the grayish. To me, when you use the cloud cover, these colors take on a gray tone. Just use the bright colors and change it. Just by changing this paper here, you're going to change the total look of your card. And there's the inside. So I hope you guys enjoyed this card and the tips and tricks I taught you along the way. Until next time, everybody, happy stamping!